Hey everybody, One Weezum here. Friday, January 10th, 2014. It's roughly 11:40. Just unboxed a couple hours ago now the Arcane Crossbow Battle Pack. Reason for that, had to render the video. It is uploading now. Should be live here shortly. Again, I will have pictures of all the characters, the new lineups they create, what the crossbow looks like on the portal, etc. on the blog post. Speaking of that, the same will go for what we're going to unbox now, Shipwreck Island. If you're interested in seeing detail on Wind-Up, its stat card, the tech elements, this combined with the Tower of Time adventure pack, etc. Take that link at the top of the video description box. It'll take you straight to the blog post related to nothing other than Shipwreck Island. You can find all the information, pictures your heart could possibly desire there. That said, this for me is the last of Wave 3, essentially. This is the Shipwreck Island Adventure Pack. Got it from Amazon. Price was $24.99. Ordered it Monday, I believe, Monday night. Should have had it here technically Wednesday. The guaranteed delivery date was Thursday. That didn't happen. That said, I can't complain too terribly much because it did get here by Friday, and that of course means I can enjoy it over the weekend. This is our first chance to get Wind Up. He becomes one of the Adventure Pack characters. The other in Swap Force, there are only two Adventure Packs, is Popthorn, which you can see right there, both Newlanders to the game. They join others. If you recall, we did not have Adventure Packs in Giants. That was kind of a bummer. But what we did have in SSA, we had 4 Adventure Packs. Slam Bam, Empire of Ice, Terrapin, Pirate Seas, Ghost Roaster, Dark Light Crypt, and then Sunburn with the Dragon's Peak Adventure Pack. So they kind of, Popthorn and Wind Up kind of follow in that line. The good news thus far for these two guys, the 4 SSA Adventure Packs, those are some of my favorite characters, so it kind of sets the bar high on a personal level for these guys. That said, locally, when I went into Toys R Us last night, they had 2 or 3 of the Arcane Crossbow Battle Packs. They had no signs at all of the Adventure Pack. I know if they had the Battle Pack, they should have had the Adventure Pack, so my guess is they sold out. When I checked GameStop last night, no signs, didn't know of any shipments coming for the big Skylander day tomorrow. Target had absolutely no signs at all of any of Wave 3, really. So hopefully you can land what you need to. Again, you've got Skylander Day at GameStop tomorrow, Saturday the 11th, and then you've got Best Buy potentially this weekend. Sprocket, apparently they changed the release date to today. I don't know if that applied to the stores, but mine have shipped. They're on their way to me. So they're potential source from Walmart if they don't have Wave 3 just yet. Should. Again, if you strike out locally and you're able to purchase online, Amazon's probably your best bet. But again, don't pay more than retail. These may be hard to find for a little while, but eventually you will get it and you will pay retail. Or if you're lucky, you'll catch it on a sale or a promotion. That said, the packaging is pretty cool. We'll start on the left-hand side. We got Wind Up over here. New world, new adventure. What I like the best is actually it's kind of like a little portal. You can actually see it kind of pulling in debris in that animation. And then if you look at the actual Shipwreck Island, it's actually doing the same thing there. That's pretty cool. This is my first time seeing it in person. Initially in the packaging, I just thought that was going to be like a hollow shape, if you will, in between that little column or horseshoe, whatever you want to call it. It actually looks to be like a translucent green that they've used, so that's really neat. We'll get a good look at that when we unbox. Then of course over here, again, we've already covered that. What is included? We could read the bottom of the packaging here, but that's not as much fun as winging it. So we've got Wind Up, again, the brand new Swap Force Newlander. He hails from the tech element. For what it's worth, he essentially completes the entire tech lineup in the game. I say that, some of you may get this before Spire Eyes, but I mean essentially, Countdown is the other Newlander. Then we've got Series 3 Big Bang Trigger Happy, Series 2 Heavy Duty Sprocket. Tech Swappers, again, Spire Eyes, Magna Charge, Nitro Magna Charge. There's Light Core Countdown too. But like I said, for all intents and purposes, this guy right here wraps up the tech element in Swap Force. That's always a cool deal. In the middle, we have the Shipwreck Island. That's actually the location piece, if you will. You can probably put it on the portal, deal some damage as well. Now, as with all the previous adventure packs and the Tower of Time, of course, included Popthorn, the location piece, which is the Tower of Time, and then it had the Battle Hammer. Kind of, of course, is your aggressive, deals damage thing, and then you have, what did I do with the Jetvac when I took him off the portal earlier? I guess I put him up top. Anyway, the Sky Diamond, and that comes in very handy. It gets you cash. My hope is that the Platinum Sheep does the same. I know I read about it way back in the day. I can't remember exactly. I should probably look that up. But nonetheless, the Groove Machine. I have been waiting for this thing for a long time. What you do, it's a magic item. You put it on the Portal of Power, and all enemies within a certain radius just stop attacking you. They could literally be wailing on you, and if you put the Groove Machine on the Portal of Power, bring it into the game, they will start dancing. Doesn't last terribly long from what I've been told. Philip mentioned it didn't have the greatest duration or anything, but it should be hilarious, and it should actually be pretty helpful if you get in a bind, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out. When we introduce Wind Up, we'll see where they place the level. We'll see what the Platinum Sheep does, and in order to take advantage of this, I don't know if it makes in-game characters like Flynn, Tessa, some of the, random village people, if they'll start dancing too, or if it has to be enemies. What I will do, though, when we introduce Wind Up, I may head into one of the solo battle arenas, and we'll actually test it out there, so stay tuned for that. That said, that's pretty much what you get up front. Coming around to the backside, pretty cool deal. They kind of custom tailor these for the adventure packs. You can see Shipwreck Island going on the Portal of Power coming in. What is that? Looks like it's just locating the map or something. Inset box art from Wind Up. That looks pretty cool. I guess that's like his little sparking claws or something. There's Wind Up. Actually looks really good in that picture. I'm trying to get a good look at him there. Kind of more polished, I think, than the one I've got looks. Anyway, there's his character box art. Of course, Wind Up, brand new to Swap Force as a new lander, will only work in Swap Force, not going to be backwards compatible. Again, also available, you've got the Tower of Time Adventure Pack. It includes the Tower of Time location piece, Popthorn, Swap Force Air Element New Lander, the Sky Diamond, and the Battle Hammer. Now, check this out, though. As I mentioned, this essentially completes your tech element characters in Swap Force. Hailing for Series 3, you've got Big Bang Trigger Happy, our Series 2 entrant, Heavy Duty Sprocket. 2 new landers, Wind Up and Countdown. Of course, Countdown does have that light core pose. And then on the Swap Force side, you got Magna Charge and his variant, and then, of course, Spyrise, who just came out. For whatever reason, they had this gap here, and they chose to promote the magic element, so we'll talk about that. Mega Ram, Spyro, Super Gulp, Pop Fizz, Doombug, and Star Strike, all available now as well. That said, we're going to go ahead and get this thing opened up, see what the characters look like. Take a look at Wind Up's card stats, cover his bio, and kind of take it from there. Looks to be an interesting character. From what I can see, the 2 paths, you kind of like bang cymbals and you get to shoot a suction cup dart. I've seen the Skylanders Twitter feed refer to it as a plunger. They made some comment about who would fight Chaos shooting plungers or something. And then other one is interesting because it encourages you to take damage. That actually fills up his wind-up meter, and that kind of plays into dealing more damage. Now, when you take it out, this is what you've got to look at. Very nicely packaged. Again, if for whatever reason, I guess your big reason would probably be so you could get the Platinum Sheep on. If you... Hang on. Okay, I'm thinking it's this translucent material because when I unbox the Fiery Forge Battle Pack and Jolly Bumble Blast, there's like a notable smell that comes out. I'm assuming it's like the plastics or something, and I actually smell that again. So it's kind of an interesting side note for you. That said, what I was getting at, if you wanted this to register in the game, there is a chance you could maybe like swing the portal up and it would pick it up if you held it at the right angle, but we'll just assume that wouldn't happen and you had to open this up. But you got a display shelf set up, or you pin them to the wall or something along those lines. You can, reseal these, put them back up, no one can really tell. If you do that sort of thing, you've got some scotch tape, you can kind of make it out right there. Go ahead and cut that so you don't tear this or bend it up. You can just kind of get it out of your way. That said, once I open them up, they kind of go into the collection and they're always available. Let's see. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Alright, so that's the way it worked out for me, bending this pack. Again, I warned you about those things. That actually did not tear, but I mean, it very easily could have. So, groove machine, don't grab it by this. Come in here, get your hand under the base, and if anything, manipulate the plastic, not the top end of that. I don't know, what is that, like a Victrola? I can't quite remember that. But, as flexible as it is, it almost seems... Now, if they could get the toys to make sound when you put them on the portal, that would be... I'm not talking about like an in-game sound. I'm talking about like, put it on the portal and it makes sound. That would be crazy. That said, we're going to get this out. This is really interesting. We'll cover it here in a second. Let's go ahead and get the platinum sheet before we do wind up. Again, my hope is that this somehow generates money for us. I'll try to check in on that for you. And last but not least, ooh, he is very flexible too. Be very careful with him. Let's go that route. I actually kind of rammed into that, and I mean, it was giving way. I don't know, we'll set him down, cover all that in a second. Now, you do have cards for everything in this adventure pack. It's just they're all packaged back here. So I like to bend that bottom piece down and then just slide them out in this case, because it's just so tight on that side. Again, if you are the type that keeps that, and reseals it for display purposes, take your time, be smart, you should be just fine. As is, I still have not torn anything there. What do we get though? We get the 4 cards. We've got Wind Up stat card, which we'll take a closer look at. The 3 big ones here. You've got the Shipwreck Island. That's of course your location piece. We've got the Platinum Sheep. That gives you a really good kind of detailed look at it. Then we've got the Groove Machine. You kind of get the vibe. It's cranking out music and it's actually dancing itself. In addition to that, you get sticker sheets for each item. We'll come in here. I'll try to find a good way to do this. There's the one for the Groove Machine. Obviously, if you put this in like your storage cases or something, you can use that. It'll kind of let you know where it is. Here's the one for the Platinum Sheep. You do have web codes with these, by the way, for your iOS and Android apps. Here's the one for the actual Shipwreck Island. Again, note they all have that, color-coded name tag as well. Only one that's not that really cool kind of turquoise color is Wind Up. He's Tech Element Orange. That's what his looks like. It is very nice there as well. So, that said, what do we need to do? We need to take a look up at Wind Up stats. Bringing him up top, we've got Power or Strength, 90 of 200. Defense or Armor, 130 of 200. Speed or Agility, 70 of 200. And Luck, 40 of 200. Add all that up, and we've got 200, 290, 330 out of 800. Fairly respectable. Other thing I wanted to emphasize, his name actually has a hyphen in it. Again, I've always kind of wondered when they pick to have the hyphen and when they don't, but that's another story for another day. We'll take that, get it out of our way. His slogan, before I forget, it's not shown on the packaging. It is actually all wound up. You could probably guess that. Now, the issue I have, this guy I guess it's supposed to be like that. He is by far like the most flexible character. I mean, usually, like the limbs and extremities, I mean, you could bend them if you really wanted to. I mean, I could sit there and do it with all the things here, but I mean, he is like really, really soft, if you will. I mean, like the battle hammer, for example. I mean, it's not super hard, but it's much more rigid than wind up is. I mean, just like touching him, yeah. I mean, I can feel the difference in like the trying to think the scientific term for that. I know talc is the softest. Anyway, the hardness scale. We'll just leave it at that. That said, aside from him being like ridiculously soft for some reason, hopefully that's not the case in gameplay. He's kind of got that thrown together junk pile look going. That's not a bad thing. That's just kind of what comes to mind. Clearly, this claw is kind of open. You can kind of see like the flathead in there. Kind of a fan blade slicer type situation. You've got the wind-up key there on that arm. You've got one on this arm. This one's closed, of course. You can picture it popping out and opening like that. And then, of course, you've got the wind-up key at the top. Coming down, you've kind of got the... it's almost like a denim blue is what I would call that color on him. Then he's got kind of the aged copper, if you will. And then he's got this really kind of like a military green on the shoulder pads. Jaw kind of mimics that. The silver pretty much consistent throughout the figure. The top key up here, it looks like it was wet paint and someone like grabbed it or the machine did or something. Not exactly the best quality I've ever seen. That might have been, I don't think it was intentional. I just think it's not really a well executed job. Again, I hold these to a high standard because I like them and because they've always had such immaculate detail. Very rare that I find one that I'm not happy with. If you are a stickler for this kind of thing and you actually are in store and you find several of the Shipwreck Island APs, I suggest you pay careful attention to wind up. Make sure you get one that is a little bit more polished than that. Again, it's even the same characteristic as there, which kind of made me wonder if it was supposed to be like that. But then on the, like, this one is perfect on the open, 3-vein deal on both sides. It's like a routine. It's a flat copper, no blemishes, no grab marks or anything. This top key looks really bad by my standards. But other thing that concerned me, when I looked at the character and then I looked at the artwork there, that's like a really nice kind of like a cobalt blue, if you will. The artwork, the card, all busted up, it is the same way. I'm going to see what it looks like when I put them on the portal, but this color clearly does not match. Coming around to the back side, it's fairly uniform, but then you get up here and it's like this side of his head just didn't get coated correctly or something. But again, not going to affect the character in the game. That's the main thing. I do plan to get another one of these, obviously, so we can explore both paths with him. But if I do that locally in person, I will be very careful. See if I can find one that maybe looks a little better for you. That said, we want to cover his background story. Built in the enchanted workshop of a toy maker obsessed with time. Yeah, that builds into something else I'm going to tell you here shortly. Okay, Wind-Up was created to help keep his massive collection of complicated clocks working perfectly. But when the toy maker popped out of existence in a freak accident caused by putting hot cocoa in a cross-wired Archean oven, Wind-Up found himself surrounded by an invading Cyclops platoon, with an eye towards claiming the toy maker's secrets for themselves. Using split-second timing, clockwork strategy, and his totally wound-up energy, Wind-Up bravely sprang into action and handily defeated the Cyclops. He later joined the Skylanders to help swing the pendulum the other way in their fight against anything that threatened Skylands. Now, my personal opinion all along, even before ever reading his biography, when I think of a clock, Tower of Time, per se, I think, I'm old enough to actually remember, like people in my family had the wind-up clocks. You literally took a key like this and you'd wind it up. If you were born probably like mid 90s and forward, there's a good chance you've never seen that. They do exist. I've actually got one. Grandparents, lots of people had them. That's how clocks used to be. It makes sense for me to have wind up with the Tower of Time. Popthorn doesn't necessarily fit with either one perfectly, but he makes more sense in Sheepwreck Island for the simple fact, he's kind of puffy and poofy like a sheep. But more importantly, if you've only got those two, wind up just makes so much sense in the Tower of Time. I don't know if it was an issue with the characters molding, if it was something unknown, if it just, I don't know, maybe when I play the levels it'll make sense to me. We'll have to kind of pan that out and see. However, when the very first line of his biography says, built in the enchanted workshop of a toy maker obsessed with time, it's just kind of like a telltale sign that just further enhances what we were all going for. Anyway, Chase McCain is hidden. That's random, but I saw him, so I thought I'd mention it. Gonna go ahead and set him down. I will, like I said, if I ever see one of these in the stores, I will kind of see if the quality's a little better and if, kind of that blue and the grab marks and things are different. And like I said, he is like super flexible. You can just like touch him and tell. It's not like Sunburn. Like Sunburn's wings, you'd think you could tell there. They feel rigid. I don't really know how to explain it unless you were here with me, but I think everyone would agree. That said, what I want to look at right now is the actual location piece. It's fairly heavy. It is the Sheepwreck Islands. That's going to unlock a new chapter for us, a couple of arenas. This backside, very nicely done. You can actually see the vortex. Great detail on the edges. The columns are hollowed out. Again, that's something you don't even have to do, and they did it. So very cool there. Again, great detail on the sides. That part line that you can see most notably on this left-hand side, that's probably to embed that translucent green stuff. If I hold this up to the camera, you can actually kind of see down through there. You can make out wind up, the groove machine, things like that. Note though, right there where my finger is, and then right there kind of towards the center of the vortex, it's literally pulling in the rocks. That's really neat. You can see a rock here. The most unique feature though, I think, on this one is actually the base. It's got kind of a texture to it. It looks like sand. It's almost, it looks like a, like half-baked sugar cookie, but really what it is, it looks like sand to me. And you can picture this portal just kind of popping up in the middle of a beach and then pulling things into Sheepwreck Island. Obviously, I haven't talked about the golden sheep's head there. That's pretty cool. Blue base, that indicates that it is swap force. But again, you can actually feel that texture there. That's a really, really neat feature in my opinion. We'll set that down. The groove machine, again, I've kind of covered what it does. You can see the little eyes there, the crank handle. I'm sorry, it's not actually a wind-up crank, it's just where the sound comes out. But you get the idea. This thing has legs. It's going to follow you around, play the music. At the top end, again, it's almost like a sunflower. But again, it's just like really, you can see how pliable that is. So I guess it makes sense here. The base, kind of just like a black coal looking structure, but again, I am excited to get this thing on the Portal of Power. It just follows your character around, plays music, and enemies attacking you start dancing. So very, very neat. The Platinum Sheep, what this does, I actually did check. I got timed out here on the SD card, so it worked out pretty well. If you remember the heroic challenges on Giants, where you had to go through and some of the trolls were dressed up as sheep, this is kind of the same thing, but for the good guys. This allows you to put this disguise on, and then enemies assume you're a sheep and they quit attacking you. The catch is that you can't actually attack them from within the Platinum Sheep disguise. However, it rebuilds health slowly over time, so that's kind of like a double whammy there. And now, since I'm actually on the page, let me go ahead and kind of cover this for you. What this thing is going to unlock is, I think it is, they say, at the end of one of the air docks, which there's several, so I'm not quite sure where it'll be placed. I'm guessing probably up to the left side, up where Flynn's ship is initially, like chapter 5 is where I'm still done right now, so I'm guessing we've got Eon far up there, so there's all those little extremities. I'm guessing it's going to be one of those two, if that makes any sense to anyone. That said, it will unlock 4 arenas. Vortex Banquet, that sounds really cool. Cyclops Makeover, Sheep Mage Rage, and Chunky Chompies. So, we kind of covered all that now, but again, this is a really, really nicely done piece in my opinion. It's got an all-new base and texture we've never seen before. They took the notion of the vortex spinning and pulling in. That's clear to see just looking at it, and then it actually mimics of course, your standard let's showcase motion is, have lines behind the item. Actually takes and they embedded that. I mean, that is above and beyond the Call of Duty right there. And again, the backside even looks pretty good. Groove Machine, again, I don't know how long it's going to be last, but it's going to be hilarious. That thing and Boomer is a great combination. And then, of course, the main thing in the draw to this, you get basically, your other chapter to enjoy in the game, and Wind Up, the Tech Element Newlander. Once again, right behind there, you can see the Sky Diamond, the Battle Hammer, the Tower of Time location piece, also intricately detailed, and of course, Popthorn, our Air Element Newlander. That said, I'm going to quit this video, get it rendering, get it uploaded for you. Again, take that link at the top of the video description box. Blog post will have everything you need to know, where I got it, what it costs, what stocks is like, pictures of all the characters, the location pieces, the magic items. When I introduce this, which I plan to do tonight, these 2 magic items should take care of some Portal Master accolades for us. I'm pretty sure we'll get one with the Shipwreck Island. Wind Up very well may do one as well, so that'll be pretty cool. And most importantly, we'll get to see where it displays, and we'll actually be able to read off the arenas, etc. So be sure to check out for that. Let's see here. If you're subscribed and I come across anything crazy and make a video, you will be the first to know, so definitely make sure to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Again, my thoughts are this one might just be a little bit blemished. It's kind of like that pumpkin eyebrow I had, that the light was offset a little bit. It happens from time to time. If yours is similar to this, let me know. If yours is, far superior and you're like, whoa, wait, what happened to your wind-up? Definitely let me know there as well. That said, if I do see these in stores, I'll do some head-to-head comparisons myself. Kind of hard for the camera to pick up exactly what I'm talking about, but again, if you were here in person, I think you can see. That said, he should be a unique character. They act like that more aggressive path is pretty intimidating if you can actually master it. The strategy guide does warn, though, that you have to really spend some time to kind of get used to Wind-Up's features. So be forewarned of that. That said, I am stoked to get this guy, the magic items, and Shipwreck Island on the portal. Gonna do that tonight, and of course right now, I'm gonna go get this video editing so it can be uploaded live and everyone can check it out. Again, good luck landing Wave 3. If there's anything I can do to help you out, let me know. Again, on the blog, right-hand side, you can find the Twitter feed as I see things in stock. I will do my best to update you, even though I've now, acquired everything personally. So, that said, thank you for watching, and like Wind Up, we are all wound up.